This is a special report from ABC News Digital.
I'm Dan Kleffler with this ABC News Digital Special Report. Aaron Hernandez's alleged accomplices turning against him, and a lot more details coming from the police. Authorities released a 156-page document outlining the warrants against the former New England Patriots, Aaron Hernandez. ABC's Aaron Katursky has had a chance to go through all 156 pages to tell us more about what is detailed in this document. Now, Aaron, the police were keeping this investigation pretty close to the chest. Why all of a sudden did we get this information?
Well, because we asked for it, and neither the prosecutors nor the defense attorneys ended up objecting, and so we were given this document, which shows a number of things, chiefly the first encounter that police had with Aaron Hernandez at his home after the murder of Odin Lloyd, that semi-pro football player who was found dead back on June 17th in an industrial park in North Attleboro, Massachusetts, about a mile from where Aaron Hernandez lives. And when police first encountered Hernandez at his home, they said he was argumentative, according to these court documents, and asked them, what's with all the questions? And when police told him that they were investigating a death, they said he seemed unconcerned.
So, and the question is also being raised, the fact that Hernandez's alleged accomplice to say that he shot Odin Lloyd and not anybody else. What more do we know then from this document then about them possibly putting Hernandez on the hot seat?
Well, remember, police and prosecutors have declined to publicly say who they believe, which of the three pulled the actual trigger that killed Odin Lloyd, because Hernandez is charged with two alleged accomplices, Carlos Ortiz and Ernest Wallace. Ernest Wallace was arrested in Florida, in Miramar, Florida, and court records unsealed in Fort Lauderdale indicate that Wallace told the other co-defendant, Carlos Ortiz, that Hernandez admitted to him to pulling the trigger. And that's what Ortiz ended up telling police, according to these court records. And so what we have, according to these documents, effectively is one of Aaron Hernandez's co-defendants quoting another co-defendant saying that Aaron Hernandez was the triggerman against Odin Lloyd.
Now, let me also ask you about these text messages that are included in this report that possibly could indicate Hernandez's motivations.
Well, police have been talking about the possibility of another shooting that happened in Boston at the Rumor nightclub having something to do with the death of Odin Lloyd. And from what we've been able to piece together in talking to our sources, plus these newly released documents, it seems as if Aaron Hernandez may have been unhappy that Odin Lloyd was talking to some people at the club that Hernandez didn't quite like. And maybe Lloyd had some information about this prior shooting that Hernandez didn't want out. And maybe, the theory goes, that is why Aaron Hernandez allegedly pulled the trigger and shot and killed Odin Lloyd.
Also coming out in this case, some surveillance images showing Hernandez returning home. What are police saying about that in this document?
Well, you can see from the images that were released, a man that looks like Hernandez in his basement went there with officers. And look, broadly, Dan, these documents show the scope of the police investigation. Not only did authorities go through Aaron Hernandez's home, they also went through what was called a flop house, an apartment that he had rented in another town. They went through his car. They went through his electronic devices, his cell phone, and his locker at Gillette Stadium where the Patriots play. All in the pursuit of evidence against him.
And just kind of recalling back on this, it was just shortly after he was arrested that the New England Patriots had cut him loose, and since then he's obviously lost a lot of sponsorships and a lot of endorsement deals. When you've gone through this entire document, because I know it's quite extensive, what else stood out to you?
Well, really, the scope of the police investigation, and we should tell you, Dan, there are two separate documents that we're looking at. Some released in Massachusetts, some released in Florida, and taken together, they show a much broader picture of the case than we've known so far. It talks about Aaron Hernandez's disposition when he first encountered police, argumentative, what's up with all the questions, but crucially, one of his co-defendants tells another of his co-defendants that Hernandez admitted to shooting and killing Odin Lloyd. That could be a potentially damning piece of evidence for prosecutors. Aaron Hernandez's attorney says this is all circumstantial evidence.
A lot of details coming out there in this case that is just getting underway. ABC's Aaron Katursky in Florida for us with the latest on that. Aaron, thank you for that. Of course, we have a complete write-up on abcnews.com as Aaron Hernandez is being held on bail, charged with the murder of a former football player. For now, I'm Dan Kleffler in New York with this ABC News Digital Special Report.
This has been a special report from ABC News Digital.